Even though the house is cold, I am still warm. Not because I just took a shower, though I did. Even before I felt warm, because I finished doing the attic. Well, haven't completely finished. There's something to be said about finishing a pointless task, which I just did. Objectively, it was something I felt the need to do, but it was absolutely not necessary. So we had these people do our attic. They rather didn't do our attic, but they did a roof. All the stuff and the mess they just never bothered cleaning up, so it's all there in the attic. Wood pieces this long. There's even a whole piece of wood, like a 2x4. And then there's lots of other random junk. There's nails hanging around. So I thought I better clean it up, right? Well, my wife was saying, why do you have to clean it up? Because it's the attic, first of all. We never go up there. I mean, we have two attics. One over the garage that we could actually store stuff that's been reinforced. And then there's the one that's just the rest of the house that's not connected to garage. And that I've, before recently, never gone up there in my life. So that's how often we use it. We didn't have access to it before until we have a little thing built into this attic. So basically, an attic that's not untouched by anybody. Useless. I'm gonna put insulation down. I said maybe I should clean up for that, but she's like, why can't you just lay on top? And that's perfectly valid. In fact, maybe all the pilings of dust are being some insulation already. So objectively, there's no reason for me to clean the attic. But I did it anyways. At least clean over our room right now. So it's gonna make me feel better that I could lay over a fresh sort of ground doing some insulation. And it felt nice like looking at how clean the attic was after I swept it up and vacuumed. But yes, it's pointless. I mean, you obviously know the experience, right? There's your little cute nephew, and he spent, days. You've seen him trying to accomplish this one task, and you sit there and watch him do it, and he's so happy. And obviously, you tell him, you're a silly little kid, stupid. This has no utility in life. Why do you waste all this time learning this silly little task? Of course you didn't say that, right? It's funny how we treat kids differently. We applaud them for doing pointless things that are not practical, that aren't relevant to real life, neither as a little kid nor as an adult. Or we tell little kids, on the other hand, to keep on doing something because you got to learn to persevere, right? My sister-in-law is trying to tell my niece she really doesn't want to play piano. Initially, she was the one who wanted to learn, but then she sort of realized how she's not so great at it, takes a lot of practice, doesn't want to do it, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't want to do it. She has lessons twice a week. So she is feeling like maybe I should let her give up. But then what does that teach her? Because you got to tell them to persevere. Doesn't matter if you don't like doing it. You still got to keep on doing it. Pointless. Futility. I mean, she's not going to be a concert pianist, not going to be a music teacher. How is this relevant to her? It's taking a lot of time. I mean, she doesn't actually practice that much every day, but I'm sure all the time takes for her mom to cajole her to play, her sitting there not playing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But somehow when you go to adults, we think about things being meaningful, practical, beneficial to us versus impractical, useless, futile. It's completely different, right? Because as adults, we don't need to learn lessons like little kids. We already know everything. We have a great work ethic. We finish our job. Yeah, really. I mean, I'm an adult. You're an adult. We don't, right? So why is it as adults we don't like doing pointless, meaningless things, right? I mean, I can't tell you why I feel good doing this. I mean, I can tell you. I realized, because the problem is the roof is sloped. So how do you reach all the way over there? So initially I was like, oh, I can't reach. Maybe I should do a blower, but then a blower. First of all, there's big pieces of wood. You can't blow those away. Just spray it everywhere anyways. So I was like, well, I'll use my broom. And then my broom was too short, so I got a longer one. And then I laid down there, could reach down and pull it all the way in. And then the whole thing is, I first use the broom and then use the vacuum, right? Because the big chunks the vacuum gets stuck doing. But anyways, yeah, I'm happy to have learned that. Is it ever going to come in handy? Probably not. But I did it, right? I had put it off for days. I only spent a few hours doing it, and I cleaned up at least over our room and, half of another room, right? And if I needed to do it, I could do it. But it's just you sit up there and you're like, why am I doing this? Well, let's keep on going, right? If you took all the time you spent thinking, why am I doing this, and just did it, you would finish it. But the thing is, it's a pointless task. And I don't disagree. But I don't think that we should judge tasks by whether they're pointless or not, right? Because anybody else judging you may say many things you do are pointless, right? Like a guy came over to pick up some of our, other stuff we didn't want. And he said he's picking up woodworking. So I was like, do you want a headboard? It's pretty good wood. And he's like, sure. He took he took a table. My wife and I are trying to sand it, but it's so much work with a hand sander. He said he has a planer. He just, put the whole thing in the machine, I guess. I don't know what it is. But anyways, he's just doing it for fun, right? It's not like he's superb at it, I would presume. But he just likes doing it. In fact, many people have hobbies that are sort of pointless. Some people look at birds and write down what they are. And we could always make fun of somebody else's hobby and say this or that is pointless. But at the end of the day, pointless. What does that mean? It was meaningful enough to me to want to do it. That means, in and of itself, it's not pointless. See, it's easy to be a judge and let other people influence your behavior, your thoughts, your beliefs, your motives. But I thought it was meaningful to do it. And I did my task, and I finished it. And I'm proud that I finished cleaning the attic. I'm not trained in this stuff, right? I'm a doctor by trade, studied engineering. Not good with my hands. Never was, maybe never will be. But I cleaned part of the attic. I did it. And I'm happy. Just like a 2-year-old's happy about having done his silly little thing that every single adult in the world could do, that he'll never need to do again. High five to myself.